What is going on? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action. Spawning in the right-hand corner of the map, in the blue color, playing as Isis. His name is Kvoth. And in the left-hand corner of the map, playing as the red Zeus. His name is Recon. We've got Kavoth from the Keen clan, and we've got Recon from the tag team. Shout out to both of those organizations, and thank you for the participation in today's event. This is the Sunday Classic #1. Slightest bit of backstory here. A while ago, in I think it was 2010, 2011, there was a amazing Age of Mythology legacy player by the name of Armycore. He reinvented Uranus and optimized Uranus to such a level that I think without him, the game would have been very, very different. And in that time, he decided to take it upon himself to challenge the best players out there to big show matches on a weekend. He would make a big post on RTS Sanctuary, and it was a very, very exciting time to be alive and be involved. So in his honor, I resurrect this idea, and hopefully over the next couple of weeks, we're going to see this be a thing, and it's going to be something to look forward to for the Age of Mythology spectators while we wait for the next tournament, basically. So let's get this show on the road as Kavoth's Isis versus Recon's Zeus. An interesting matchup to kick this one off with, as funnily enough, we are also doing something extra with this. During this Sunday Classic, we might stick with the same format. We might change the format. The format currently is being trialed for Champions League. The next tournament that's going to be tournament that's going to be coming up, we are trialing some new formats inside of a best of 7 format. And what that means is we're still using a draft, but there is a chance that players can pick the same god. In this case, both players did pick Isis as their like ace pick, so to speak, the very first pick that they grabbed. And yeah, that's the story. Hope you guys enjoyed. And let's see how these guys are going to go. So for those of you who don't know, for whatever reason, Kvoth, recent winner of the recent S-tier Mythic Wars tournament, the only winner of an S-tier tournament outside of the Mister. And Recon, he has come second, and third, I believe, in the other S-tiers so far. So he's very much at the heels of the Mister. So this is going to be a really, really interesting one because these guys haven't matched up too much, Kavoth and Recon. Oftentimes, Kavoth kind of goes... I think Kavoth has gone through Magic, has had to fight Magic a bit. I don't know if I remember the matchup of Kavoth versus Recon all too well. However, Kavoth here is going to be going up through Anubis here, and we are on the new patch. So this is Town Center Range Reduction. This is, as the Centaur's trying to get a little bit of pressure in already, this is Town Center Range Reduction. This is 100 wood costing tower for the Isis. This is a more expensive tower for the Zeus as well. As the game to continue along here, and I love this base here that Kavoth has built, but on the other side, we've already got a talent center coming up for Recon here. Question in the chat: is there a prize pool for this? Yes, there is. It's 100 USDs for every single one of these show matches going along to the end of well, whenever it stops, whenever people stop wanting to participate, basically. But yeah, there's a small cash prize for these guys to put on a good show for you guys. So hopefully you enjoy that, as the barracks now coming through for Kavoth. And he is going to be wondering exactly what Recon is going for. As the Anubite moves in, will be greeted with the talent center already up, as the Anubite will spot that. And I imagine that's going to trigger Kavoth to also go for his own talent center. He is teching towards it. He sees the talent center, and he's going to bail out on this one. Now, on the right-hand corner, there is a Katoskopos, there is a Centaur. as the Anubite to come back over here. One idea from Recon, or for Recon, if you can somehow get it out in time here, is to get out Heracles and Jason as fast as he possibly can. And then he's got access to Bolt, right? He's got access to Bolt to then hit the Pharaoh and cause crazy amounts of damage onto Kavoth's ability to get a town center here. And this is why Kvoth is being so careful with going out there, as the Anubite one does end up getting bolted there. We're trading back as the Titan's treasure is going to go into the hands of Kvoth here, as he wants to bring that one back. Jason is already over here causing some problems, but Kvoth is very, very simply going to get his town center up. Katoskopos almost going down here, as it does manage to get away. 5.5 speed is a lot of speed. The Anubite doesn't have that jump anymore, running straight into the Jason. He takes 2 shots, then jumps back, and he's going to get into his main base. No problems. Going to get up his town center over here. We'll have access to his hunt on this side. While this is all going on as well, Recon says, time to grab some hunt. And also, he says, you know what? While this is going on, let me get some farms. Quick little eco check as well, as Recon hasn't grabbed anything just yet. He does have double military academy down, just in case, but no economic upgrades. Town center is up. A very significant advantage. Now cooking, however, for Recon's villager count. This is something that, generally speaking, you want to avoid. Generally speaking, you want to avoid this town center coming up this late as the ISIS. So, Kavoth's advantage here is here that he's got a handful of spearmen out. So he needs to get some sort of villager kills going. He's got an Anubite out as well. He's got more spearmen he can build. He's going to be grabbing himself Feet of the Jackal, jumping into the main base here, causing some idle time over here. But Recon's base for the time being looks very, very nice. There's another problem cooking here as well for Recon, in that his gold mine is, I mean, it's kind of close to his town center, but he can't get onto it just yet, as these Anubites charging around. One villager will end up going down, as now the Anubite over here to retreat back, still taking huge damage from the town center, moving up over to here, ready to start bouncing out. That's a very low HP Anubite. There he jumps it over onto the hopline accidentally. Not what his plan was, as this Anubite to escape. He's got this one down onto the bottom here. 37 HP remaining, but he gets some good damage done. He's going to get out of here. This one as well, roaming around onto the bottom side. The Centaur with 16 HP, definitely wanting to get over and deal with the Anubite, but Kvoth gets out of there. He gets the damage done, and he's got food up the wazoo right now, ready to go to the next age. Plus, grabbing this gold mine, plus getting himself this relic. It's the Dar's Scepter, so easily going to be able to start getting himself some farms here. And the game to continue along. But Recon, I mean, he's still in front on villager count, but he did spend quite a lot on these hoplites, on these military academies. So his heroic age, at any point, is going to be very far behind Kvoth. But Kvoth here forced in some way, somehow, in some reason, to get out a couple of axemen. And this is mostly because, well, he wants to make sure that this gold mine is nice and secure. He could move over here, drop a wall, maybe put a building here, and he's probably fine. But just to be safe here, he gets out a couple of axemen, roaming forward here, looking to try and get onto this hunt over here and cause some problems. We take a quick look at what Recon sees. He's sitting right on this spot, ready to defend any sort of Anubite raid. But last minute, the Anubites jump in, get on top of the villagers. Going to be sniping one villager here as well. A second one to go down onto this spot, as he then goes, all right, time to pull back up to the top here. No problems. The Centaur can chase this bad boy. The Centaur can chase these bad boys, 5.5 speed, but they can jump away and they're back to safety. Meanwhile, into the main base, Kvoth trying to get some more damage over here. Doesn't look like he managed to get any villagers, but villager differential is now equal. And behind this, Kvoth says, well, it's time for Sobek. So not going for that Nephthys angle, probably because Recon's got himself ceasefire, which means no need to be worried about late game Hoplite Peltast as much, right? You don't have to worry about it as much, but still, Hoplite Peltast is pretty strong even without Athena. So he can take the Sobek. He doesn't have to worry about getting that early game damage done to keep his timings going. In fact, as we're still seeing more raids coming in onto this side, he's got these units over onto this gold mine. And one thing that we haven't touched on just yet is what type of Ghost Lake are we watching here? It's a 6 gold mine Ghost Lake, 6 large gold mine Ghost Lake. So the game plan here generally is to ensure you've got access to at least 3 and try and get that 4th one. At the very top level, you're probably not winning games often with one foul swoop in to like kill someone. Oftentimes that's not the case, especially in this sort of situation where it's going to be Sobek versus Hermes, Apollo. A very, very sort of tactical game going to be occurring here, I think. Which does mean it's going to be up to Recon to somehow manage to get out and maybe grab this gold mine, or somehow get over here and grab this gold mine. This one's basically free for Recon. He can grab the talent center, he can grab this food, he can be kind of nicely put there. But this is going to be the important part, as Migdol Stronghold number 1 going up, Migdol Stronghold number 2 going up, and funnily enough here, we also see the Sun-Dried Mudbrick getting ignored and not actually getting researched by Kvoth. This is something he was doing immediately in the previous batch. This technology has been nerfed slightly, still makes the Migdol quicker to build, still makes the Migdol cheaper as well. So it's still worth grabbing, but it looks like here that Kavoth, he wants to focus, I think, on getting himself Petsukos, especially in this situation. Slow pushing up, grabbing this Migdol here, securing all this position, putting pressure onto this gold mine over here with Petsukos, with a Migdol to be sitting on as well. This is going to be really, really difficult to deal with, as we are going to now see a fortress coming up as the Rock almost getting sniped down over here as well. As the Rock goes down, but we also see a little cheeky attempt here from Kvoth to just jump in. He jumps in, he drops the Locust over this one, trying not to sacrifice his Anubites here. He did snipe both myth units down, and then he's attempting to get out of here. As now the units to come through, he says, wait, maybe, just maybe, we can actually get some serious damage done here. But Sukos nowhere to be seen just yet, and ceasefire needs to be dropped there, as Kavoth's timing seeming just that little bit too much to deal with. And now Kvoth says, let me move forward and let me drop the Migdol. So he's going for another one, but this means he can't build those extra Petsukos. He's only got 1. And the power of the Petsukos in this situation isn't, well, while it's really good at like sniping off the Hoplite, sniping off the Paspist, sniping off any Peltast or anything like that, that's not what you're really worried about here. You're worried about Petropolis taking your Migdol down. Generally speaking, you don't have a great answer until you've got access to catapults as Egyptian. But with Petsukos, and there's 2 here, now all of a sudden, you can snipe them down from range. They can't kill your Migdol. Very, very tough to make that sort of stuff happen. As the unit's moving down to the bottom side, Recon very quickly moving back, saying, okay, just going to be careful here. The gold mine, nothing on here just yet. I love this little check from Kavoth. He just makes sure that Recon is being very, very fair to the matchup here, because there's such an overwhelming military advantage for Kavoth in this moment. And this is the tough part of the matchup, is how do you survive down HP? How do you survive down HP, down population, down military resource value, down Migdol amount? And this is with these are 600 gold Migdols, by the way. I didn't touch on that, but one of the this didn't happen in the patch notes. They didn't tell us in the patch notes, but the Egyptian Migdol went up to 600 resources. Went up to 600. As the Anubites dive in, huge amounts of splash damage to come through, but they dive straight in onto the Jason, onto the Heracles, and Recon's going to be happy about that to take that one down. However, Hephaestus is clicked up actually for Recon during this, and Kavoth says it's time to get going here. You're not playing, you're not spamming units out, and I'm going to be able to clean you up with these elephants. Takes the fortress down, sniping down the Odysseus there as well. One Petsukos does end up falling, but the entirety of Recon's army will end up getting cleans there, as Kavoth can now start motoring in to take out the town center. Meanwhile, Spearman coming through here to try and take out the villagers as well. Priest's going to be sniping down the Manticore. Town Center's going to be falling, as it looks like, while Recon will have a Mythic Age. He's not going to have many units behind it, and Recon in that moment does decide to tap out, says GG, but Kavoth's push here, just that little bit too much. Recon going for the most ultimate of greed. If he gets away with it, he's in a great spot, right? But unfortunately there, Kvoth catches Recon with his pants down and says, no, no, no. Mythic Age is not an option for you. I have 200 pop to your 140, and that is too much for you to deal with. And he just walks in, says goodnight, and now we go in to the next game. An incredibly well-played game there from Kavoth, showing how, like, just the control and the knowledge and the control of the Anubites. Didn't lose a single one in those raids, and that's really, really tough to do. Great raids all around, just a fantastic execution in this matchup. We'll move into the next one. We'll see what they're going to play. Hopefully you guys are enjoying hanging out with me, but we'll get the next game going as soon as the players are ready. And let's get going. Okay, never mind. I'm wrong. You can drop it off whenever you want. I'm silly. But this does save a lot of walking time for the villager. I haven't done it in ages, but a very, very smart play here from Kavoth, as Recon getting himself out some extra Qualfu here. He actually decides to go for a secondary Qualfu first, rather than the hero Qualfu, which might end up biting him in the bum just a little bit moving forward in this game. Why? Well, he's probably expecting to have that 20 favor in from his build order, but is he going to be able to have it? I'm not exactly sure. Nonetheless, he's got the gold for his temple. He moves up over here, getting some wood. He has dropped up a couple of docks up here as well, as Recon is just ready to spam docks everywhere. We are going to be seeing the same for Kavoth down onto the bottom of the map, as he's going to be dropping a temple here. He sees these docks up already and goes, all right, we'll take the easy road, just grab the backfish and all the other good stuff, as the temple coming up for Recon in the main base. Villagers moving over onto the gold mine here as well. And we will see how things start to develop here. As Recon's gone for like 1, 2, 3 silos. I'm always surprised to see this when players do this sort of thing. He makes a mistake to some degree coming onto this back gold mine. Would rather be on the front gold mine against Greek so that he can retreat back to that other gold mine if need be. But nonetheless, we do have Juan Nu to come through for Recon. No surprises there. And on the other side, Kavoth, he is going to be going for Athena. Most likely, he could go for Ares here. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, never mind. I'm not surprised. I am surprised, but I'm not surprised. And nonetheless, a couple more docks coming up on this right-hand corner, and the game will begin shortly. One idea I had for this Qualfu Chieftain thing is it only costs 100 food. So if you go for a relatively quick classical age, pre-queue out the Qualfu Chieftain, you could potentially get that Qualfu Chieftain out at a quick time while also getting that quick age up in as well. I haven't quite sat down and worked anything out yet. The other option is just to go for a one villager later on the land maps. Obviously, this being a different sort of situation, it's different. So there's that to keep in the back of your mind. But anyways, Ajax into the center going for Hermes' winged sandals. Doesn't want to let that one go the way of Recon. As Recon, he doesn't get himself his pickup relic, is the relic there to pick anything up, and he has to cry about not having himself speedy heroes, as the chillin' searching around in the main base. Already Achilles queued out. I've also got some ships starting to come through now for Kvoth as well. As the fishing ship's getting pushed back over on this top side. Village is going to be just simply retreating, or fishing ship's going to be simply retreating into the docks. doing all the good stuff. And will we see any sort of a defense on the water here? As all of the pressure to come for the moment is just going to be onto the gold villages. Zom coming down saying, hang on. You can't attack me. I'm Hades. Get out of here. And the Chillin, 5.3 speed. That 5.6 speed. Now, Achilles, everything changes here. The Chillin are no longer really an option for Recon at the moment, as the Minotaur will end up getting sniped down. Great control here from Recon as he's baiting in the Achilles. Achilles gets sent backing, but the dock going down over here as well. There are a couple of Meng Chong in at the moment. Could charge in to try and take out the Juggernauts. Kavoth being a little bit unfortunately placing with the siege ship there, as now we see the Meng Chong charging in. He sees a couple more ships over here. You got to be so careful. You don't want to be fighting underneath the dock. Meanwhile, over onto this side, charging over to try and hit the wood villages there as well. Snipes down one siege ship, but loses a Meng Chong for it. More Meng Chong going to be coming in as the units hitting the villages on this position, retreating into the tower at the moment. As one villager goes down, a second villager going to be going down as well here. As the Halberdier almost taking down the Ajax, but restoration comes. Also, the Sentinel helping out on this spot, but after restoration is finished, Kvoth will have to pull back ever so slightly, trying to snipe down villagers as best as possible. Meanwhile, over on this side, the siege ship's still slowly chipping away at the dock. As Recon wants blood here at the moment. He wants blood. He will have blood. Couple more units falling as the villager over on this side will end up going down. Retreats back ever so slightly as the Achilles going to town over here, but still villagers falling for Kavoth. But fishing ships falling over here for Recon as he does charge forward, picks off the Meng Chong. Going to be losing those Meng Chong, however, as he's paying more attention onto this fight than onto the left one. It's tough to be on two separate positions at once. And slowly but surely, some units are going to start coming out here for Kavoth. He's getting himself watchtowers as well. An expensive upgrade, but will give some protection to this wood line. He could pop over onto the back wood line as well with a little cheeky wall. And is that a market? A market to come down as well. As all the ships have actually ended up falling here. And now Recon can restart his fishing ship production. He can also come over here and grab those fishing spots there. Does he have the upgrade? Both players do. Oh, Kavoth doesn't. He doesn't have himself his per scene tech, which does mean his food situation is going to be a significant amount lower than Recon's has been. However, he does have it queued up now. So he's obviously either forgotten it or on purpose didn't grab it just on the fact that he wanted some other things as more important. But nonetheless, Aphrodite now on the way. Military academies now coming through. We are seeing Javelineer. We're seeing Fire Archer. We're seeing Chillin coming through for Recon here. As Recon going to send a couple of Sky Lanterns in to just see exactly what's going on. Just wants to have a little knock on the door going, are you behaving in there? There's more military academies coming in. There is only the one archer range, but obviously here, as soon as Kavoth hits the heroic age, he's going to be wanting to have himself some Peltast. But not only that, because Recon is going so heavily on the army spam here to kick this game off, that means he's not going to have access to any sort of myth unit to defend against a Skylar. And more Skylar are going to be coming through here for Kavoth. He goes on both sides with one on each. And there's not really an answer to this at the moment for Recon. Recon charging forward. He's trying to get snipes and he wants to force some sort of a curse at this point. He wants to force it. But Kavoth is being very, very tame, very reserved with his usage at the moment. I see Achilles now coming over. There's the curse he's been waiting for. But that hits all of those fire archers, and now the massive pioneers have to use the vanish there to get out, but does a nice job of doing so. Pigs over onto the back, Kvoth gets some pigs. Anyways, over onto this side, the Skylar cleaning everything up. There's one dock left here for Recon on this side as well. Fishing ships starting to get taken out. As Recon pushes forward here, ready to hit these units. The Chillin taking so much damage here. Losing the Chillin does hurt. As the Javelin is doing some great damage onto that back Peltas running around here with the Chillin. We'll end up losing that one, but it's looking to me like Kavoth might... no, he's not going to be winning the fight, but he gets a good trade nonetheless. He gets a good trade nonetheless. Continuing to force gold to be spent here is the game plan for Recon. If Recon can continue to force Kavoth to spend gold, he's got 1,300 here, 1,200 here. That means he can't get to the Mythic Age, which is what I think Recon wants to try and force. Which then means potentially behind this, he can get the gold star in the center of the map. This seems to be what Recon's going for in this game. In the main base, however, Anemian line going to town over here, but will end up falling, or at least having to retreat back. Looks like my chat is telling me I'm pronouncing things wrong again. My pronunciation comes from the source, all right? I come from the source. And the source is the original Age of Mythology campaign, okay? Nonetheless, at this moment now, all Recon can do is sit and wait for the next big fight. He can't really push in. The walls are up. The sentinels are up. The watchtowers are in. The units are here. The base is incredibly defensive. Kvoth has got 3, 6, 9. Actually, I can just do this. He's got 20 fishing ships out. To Recon's 0. To Recon's 0. And not only that, Recon isn't trying at all to get to the heroic age. He could go there. He could go for Golmang. I think he's also... Wait, does he have new bar? Does he have Fey Beasts? I think he's got Fey Beast, right? Yeah, he's got Fey Beast. So he could go for Fey Beast, which would be a big help in the fight. So there are 3 heroes. But instead, it's just looking like Kavoth says... Oh, sorry, not Kavoth. Recon says, I'm just going to spam. One other idea here for Recon is to move forward and drop some military buildings here and attach towers to them to help out all the other good stuff. That's another idea. As the fortress looking to come in here, Recon's got such a good force of units here, sniping a huge amount of villages as Kavoth does not pay attention there. I think he's got that military drag select, or easy military drag on. He couldn't pull the villagers back. Loses a hefty amount. And while... I mean, this is weird, right? The villager differential here says it's absolutely gigantic. However, there's 20 fishing ships. So it's basically equal, no? Income-wise, it's basically equal. As Divine Books coming through, Recon realizing he's going to need more production here. As onto the left side of the map, we are seeing the villagers trying to sneak up a cheeky little fortress. But Recon is too smart for this one. He's got units already over there. He's now going to move over onto this side. The villagers will have to retreat. Only a handful of units moving for the time being. Let's go into Recon's perspective to see what he sees. Dropping the Sky Lanterns here as the villagers to retreat back. Moving forward, this game will come down to just this. Heavy upgrades to come through as the villagers moving forward. These villagers over here getting sniped down. And it looks to me like while Recon is turning and taking this fight, this is a good fight for Kavoth. And that fortress is started 25 seconds from completion. He will get it up. He's got the favor for another Sentinels, and he will be claiming himself this gold mine in the middle of the map very, very shortly. However, villages have fallen. Damage has been dealt. Recon isn't quite out of this one just yet. As the Zom comes down, and this has to mean scary moment. Look at the damage. Oh, You can't run forwards to it. You can't run into a fortress here unless you've got a significant advantage. As the Peltas are going to start poking and prodding, and Recon needs to take this game to the next moment. He can't just hang out here. He's got himself a second town center, as well as the hoplites coming forward, checking that one out. And while this happens, Recon says, hey, you've got a town center, no worries. Let me just run in here and we'll get some damage done while your units aren't here. Hitting those villages, absolutely gigantic, an incredibly big risk here, however, as the hoplites are going to come back and cut Recon's retreat off here. We'll see how this is going to work as all of the Peltas popping out, popping in, popping out. There's how many fire archers are actually here. I think that the population for Recon is going to be falling very, very quickly here, sitting underneath this fortress. The fortress is getting damage done. Look at that, 14 kills already, nearly 1,200, nearly 1,100 points of damage done. But look at the villager differential. It's gigantic. And how gigantic? I mean, how gigantic? 21? 58 to 69? Is that enough? There is an age advantage, and now there's also a significant military resource advantage that's been created here as well. Has the market been used? It has been used a little bit by someone in this game. Can I show the sentinel damage? 3 over here. 380, got 240, 264, over here 207, 244. So significant amounts have been dealt here. As Recon just simply going to be attempting to hold on this position. The problem for Kavoth, while he is getting good trades, the problem for Kavoth is his economy he has to be scared about the economic position that he's in right now. So he needs to make something happen. He's got to get some kills in here. As the fight happening over onto this side, Peltas to snipe down a whole bunch of units. Those Javelineers getting good damage done. The front line falling here is Kavoth pushing forward. No towers onto this position. He does have that Divine Books, and I believe that helps you get cheaper towers here as well, but decides against building them, as it looks like the army for Recon has fallen. And Kavoth claims the victory. Very, very, very close one here. It might not seem like it when you look at this score, but this game, I don't know if Recon really read this situation to the best of his ability. I think this push here was fine, but he needed to bail out once those units sort of came back. I think he was... Let's have a little look-see here at resources collected. Yeah. Recon actually retook the advantage here. And I think the only reason Kavoth is in front here is units killed. This is the only reason. It's units killed. So if Recon just took this just a little bit slower, got to the heroic age, got access to some siege here, I think he would have been very, very simply able to pressure this. And there wouldn't have been a whole bunch of stuff that Kavoth could have done to stop there, but instead he just keeps on putting that pressure on and just could not quite take Kavoth out here. Anyways, game 2 for Kavoth there. As the game continues along, we'll see if Recon can pull this one together. Kavoth is looking dominant as ever as we move into game number 3. Hope you guys are having a good time, and we will see you in that next one. And we are now back with game number 3 in the left-hand corner of the map, playing as the blue Shenong. His name is Kvoth. In the right-hand corner of the map, playing as the red Odin. His name is Recon. Now, let's talk about this. I got absolutely dominated in this matchup. That's my story. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, and that's all I have to say for it. But this is a new patch. It's new. It's a different map. A very, very different map indeed. Much more opportunity for maneuvering than any sort of open map. So we'll see how Recon's going to approach this. It's very difficult because your opponent here has got Yatsa. They're very strong. They did get nerfed. They went from 5.5 speed down to 5.3 speed. Another nerf that got hit is the dash. no longer gets a big boost from their upgrade. Instead, it's just flat damage, which is also good in its own way. And what I think here that's going to be different now from what it was before, at least for Odin, is that Odin should be able to get off raids without fear of losing all of their raiding cavalry to Yatsa dashes. That's the big thing that I'm excited to see here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kvoth going for Chiyo. Chiyo makes a lot of sense in this matchup just on the fact that you get access to the incredibly powerful Master of Weaponry technology, which effectively makes raiding cavalry very difficult to use, which is something that Recon is really going to want to use. On top of that, you get access to lightning weapons, which means that you can stun up those Herser, those heroes, in any sort of big fight, if only for 15 seconds, but you can stun them up. And then also you get access, well, we've already talked about, you get access to the Yatsa. Now, while they're not going to be as strong at sniping down myth units, because they don't have that burst damage anymore, they're still going to be good at brawling in the fight. So making Valkyrie, I have to believe that making Valkyrie is on the table here for Recon, which should be something you're allowed to do, should be something that's good. And we'll see if it's actually going to be the case or not. As a forward temple here from Recon. Is he going for a town center? He very well might be. There's nothing on the town center. There's a wood line here. He might be looking to wall this off. He's got this relic here, Scales of Echidna, that he wants to be as close as possible to. As the goats over here getting grabbed. We do see Chiyo technology coming in as this Pioneer wandering down to the bottom side of the map looking for something. He still hasn't seen any relics. This is something that I know Kavoth prioritizes. He definitely prioritizes relics. You've got the Thundercloud Shawl here. Very good relic to grab for the Norse in this matchup. But we'll see how things eventuate here. The Scales of Echidna does come through for Recon. Is he going to walk down to the bottom? Oh, he's going to the top relic here. He's got the Black Lotus onto that side. That's going to be a big help in terms of any sort of farms he's going to be grabbing. And behind all of this, what are we going to see? Now, another thing that did get hit for the Shenong, which I think is a big deal, is favor gather rate. The initial favor gather rate did go down, which does mean that 2 hits here. One is the early game of the Shenong should be hit quite badly. So you should not be able to get a huge amount of myth units out free early on. You have to sort of wait on that. You can already see a second one is available here for Kavoth if he wants to, but he's just going to go straight for the machine workshop. And we'll see what... There he goes for a second one. And we are seeing some great hauls coming in here. As Recon to sit back and wait. You know, you have that 6-speed Valkyrie. If you send just one Yatsa out against the Valkyrie can beat one Yatsa, I think. Maybe still? You should be able to. 16 damage. I think so. They both have got 3x. This guy's got more HP. This guy's got less armor. Nonetheless, coming around onto the side here, Kavoth's buildings don't spot this. He's bringing a Herser back to defend, but the Yatsa are going to be looking very quickly here for some early game damage into the main base as he jumps straight in here onto a village, gets a little bit of damage, one little slap, retreats back. The Valkyrie is already off, ready to look for some villager snipes in the main base. There is one Pioneer here. That's not really going to be enough to deal with this, but Recon's got to be paying attention. He's throwing this one away. He's losing a lot of HP. This unit is such a powerful unit. You cannot be losing that amount of HP there as the Yatsa getting chased away by one raiding cavalry for the time being. On the right-hand corner, just going to be sniping down these giraffes, preventing any sort of favor from coming in onto that side there, as the Valkyrie now going to get just a couple of shots in, as now Kavoth can just dash away yet again. Going to be completely safe to pull back into his main base, get that HP back, no problems. And into the main base of Recon comes the Yatsa yet again, dives straight onto that low HP villager, and that will be one villager kill, and he's going to be able to get out of here afterwards yet again, However, there could be a turnaround onto this one. We see a town center attempting to come up here. This is incredibly greedy from Kvoth, as the raiding cavalry are in already. One Urso here to try and snipe down that Yartza, does manage to do so, as another couple of units getting cleaned up. The raiding cavalry coming in to snipe down now the what are they called? The Quaofu, as the Shenong farms come in. Town center is up, but at what cost? At what cost? Lightning weapons gone. Shenong farms used is not a bad thing there for Kavoth at all, but he loses a ton of units. Meanwhile, Favor also goes over to Recon's side, so he's going to be able to have himself a little bit more Valkyrie to spam, and he can decide whatever he wants to do now. You've got Njord, you've got Skadi, you've got town center, grab a couple of town centers. You got full raiding cavalry raids here as well. Like lots of different decisions potentially being able to be made at this point. Moving up to the top to kill off some baboons up here, just to give himself all the favor to potentially get another Valkyrie, which is what he's going to go for. A couple of Valkyrie to pop out and start raiding makes some sense. I think he did lose his initial Valkyrie. There's a couple more units to come in. A military camp coming down over here, as the Shenong farms into the main base going to be coming in just to... I mean, you've got to... When you're using the villages over here on the Shenong farms, they're actually gathering significantly faster than berries, than herdables, than anything else. So it's well worth it. Another option here for Kavoth would be to shoot these giraffe underneath the town center if he wants to, as the units are just going to be hanging out on this position for the time being. And we'll see. Still no decision for a town center. So I think right now this is basically indicating to me, at the very least, yeah, there's the armory, that Recon is going for some sort of an all-in here. He does not want to take this game late game. Not against Shenong. There's a unit that, I don't know if you guys have seen this one, but there's a unit that Shenong has got that nobody wants to deal with, and that is Wenzhong. So Kavoth's plan here is going to be get damage done, Recon's plan here is going to be get damage done and stamp the Shenong out of this game here, in my estimation. But nonetheless, Kavoth here has got a game plan, and that's just spam and then probably try and hold. He could be out on this position, walling this up. He could come over here and drop some Shenong farms down and then be gathering from this gold mine, no problems, for a little bit as well. As the baboons over here getting sniped down. Skadi, the god of choice here, as this basically means here that Recon wants to take this kind of slow. Recon wants to take this kind of slow. Now, there is one option here for Recon, which is very, very strong, which is build a hill fort immediately. Get yourself out, 1 or 2 portable rams, run forward, frost, and ram your way through that town center. And then you can also get your units on top of everything. As the walls up to the top are all up now for Kavoth. Over here we do see one cheeky little Yartza has managed to make it into the main base. Sniping villages in this position for Kavoth is so important. Because he's got 2 town centers. If he picks 1 villager off, that's almost like it's worth getting a 2 villager lead over your opponent in that moment, right? So huge amounts of damage. He's going to be trying to bail out as the Valkyrie returning back over here, attacking that longhouse. Can't be good for Kavoth here. That's not what he wanted to have happen. The Valkyrie going to be charging after this one. 6 speed is a lot of speed. Decides not to chase after, instead to pull back over onto this side, as Recon has the resources right now for the hill fort, and I imagine that's going to immediately be popped down onto this position here. Meanwhile, onto the left side, Kavoth has to make a decision now. Do you go for the forward? Sorry, Kavoth has to make a decision right now. Do you go for the heroic age, or do you keep pumping and try and hold with the classical age army? Meanwhile, Recon, very simple. He wants the hill fort on the forward position, securing this gold mine. He wants to come over here and secure this gold mine. He doesn't have any ravens over there, as he just lost that one. I'm sure he was trying to get that to move over onto that position. But nonetheless, it's equal on the unit count, and Kvoth is making his buildings around this town center beautifully. This is something that I've said is amazing for ages. It's some strategy you kind of use with Atlantean a lot because you don't have to put farms on your town centers. But when you're in this position as the Shenong player, as the defensive player, you do this, and then all of a sudden, in order to actually break in onto this position, you need to actually kill these buildings. And these are basically giving the town center an extra, say, 1200 HP, which is a lot. As a couple of Yatsa to move over here. The gold mine for Kavoth is about to run out. He is going up through Rush Shoal. Rush Shoal isn't exactly that big of an assistance here. Picking off some villages at the moment is going to be gigantic. Snipes one, going after two more. 1, 2 goes down. The Taltier wants in. She's coming over here. I want to nom you. Meanwhile, the Yatsa for Kavoth. Oh, there is a Hersa over here, though. Nice awareness from Recon. He knows that this sort of thing can happen. As hello there, Mr. Yatsa. It does pop over. But with that happening, the Hersa is in. Going to start getting that damage done. And there's the Fey Beasts getting dropped onto the villagers. They can run for the wooden gate here, but it's looking like they're going to actually fall here. I mean, where is he going? Hello? I mean, the Yatsa also can just dive across here as well and finish these all off if need be. And that's exactly what's going to happen. 1, 2, 3 villagers going down. 3, 4, all of them going down. But this now means that, well, Recon is all in. Recon is as all in as he possibly can be. He's so far behind on villagers. Military-wise, he's in a good spot. But he's got himself a small amount of time here, a small window to make this happen. Charging in, he sees the military buildings onto this position. He's going to be trying to take out the machine workshop. Do we have any sort of siege coming through for Recon or not? Answer is not at the moment. Hersa coming over here. He does have that Raven on this spot. A Frost on this location as well can be very, very useful. However, there is also lightning weapons for after the Frost. So there's a lot of things here that Recon's got to be a little bit aware of as he snipes down the Tautier. Nice little fight there. No Frost to come down just yet. Fighting underneath the town center fire as the ballet coming through. Can Recon break through this position with his army or not? He doesn't have the throw and axeman to take out that front line, as it's looking to me like Kavoth has held, and Recon, after all of his well-played early game, just not able to make this attack work for him. And Kavoth gets the dub up a very, very quick 3-0 in this series. And what more can be said that hasn't already been said about Kavoth here? He is playing a nasty bunch of Age of Mythology at the moment. Recon's still got some strong gods in his back pocket here. Kavoth has used all of his big god picks thus far. Actually, Hades. Is Hades a big god pick? He's used his Isis. He's used his Shenong. Recon's still got his Isis in his back pocket. But this is 3-0. That's one win away from victory here in this series. We'll see if Recon can pull it back here, or if Kavoth is going to continue Kavoth's ways. If you guys are enjoying this, make sure you're hitting the subscribe button, the follow button, all the other good stuff, so you don't miss out on anything. But nonetheless, let's get into the next game and see what's going to happen here. And we're back with game number 4. Kavoth currently in a dominating position. As my game is deciding to be a little bit buggy, but we fixed it up there. Kavoth currently in a dominating position, up 3-0 in this best of 7 in the left-hand corner of the map. He is playing as the blue Ra. In the right-hand corner of the map, playing as the red Loki. His name is Recon. Recon the Great, Recon the Wise, Recon the now playing Loki versus Ra. Another very, very tough matchup. However, recently, it is seeming like there has been some pretty hefty Norse buffs, and Ra has been, at least statistically, now however much you want to read into statistics, might be your downfall, but nonetheless, at least statistically, Ra hasn't been doing too well. However, this is Kvoth's Ra, and Kvoth's Ra is naughty. Very, very naughty indeed. He's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. He's got a lot of pain to throw his enemy's way. And we do see a little cheeky spy coming down from Recon into the main base here, as he's going to be seeing quite a lot of stuff here. He might be regretting that spy later, depending on which way Kavoth wants to take this matchup. It's, funnily enough, you might think, well, Norse is the aggressive civ, right? Norse is the civ with the barbarians, the Vikings, the get in there, the nomadic, not the nomadic, but the sort of just, they want to get in and get damage done, right? Well, actually, Norse is the reactionary civ at the top level. The Ra gets to dictate what happens here. Ra says, okay, I'm going to be the aggressor, or I'm going to be the defender, or I'm going to be the techer. Ra gets to decide, and you have to know as the Norse player what's happening and how to deal with it. As a second monument coming up for Kavoth, this is indicating he might be wanting to go for Bast, but he also might still want to be going for Dar here. Having that Dar is very, very useful, so you can have access to shifting sands to play around any sort of flaming weapons shenanigans. But then again, Kavoth might simply be going for something similar to what he did in game number 1 with his Isis, trying to go for things like, Sphinx or what have you. Sphinx or Nubites. The Nubites, Sphinx, kind of similar, and trying to put pressure on, but we'll see. I'm actually more interested in how Recon's going to be playing this, because I haven't got to see a huge amount of his Norse at all. Anyways, we'll see how it's going to go. He's going to start making those Hersos straight away. Only a handful of villagers on wood for the time being. Moving the villager off of gold over onto food as well, as he's going to be pumping out these Herso. Another thing that's kind of happened to Egyptian is that, that sort of fast second town center, race straight to the heroic age, drop the Migdols, and then go to the mythic age has been slapped in the face quite a few times. So you have to play a much more different type of Ra, I think, if you want to have success right now in this patch. But that type of Ra still exists and is still very, very strong. So we'll obviously see Kavoth going down that path as he does decide that Bast is his choice, and he wants to potentially make a huge amount of Sphinx, Axeman, and make life very difficult for Recon here. Now, Recon, if this is what's happening to him, I'm sure he's going to be ready for this. He is a master of the Sphinx play. He is a master of playing it from the Ra perspective. So he knows the ins and outs. He knows where things go wrong here for Ra. If this is what's going to happen, it's going to be a one town center sort of classical fight as the Herso comes up to this top side, sees Eyes of Horus. Nice relic there to be grabbing. A couple of goats coming around onto this side as the Herso searching for it. And does he notice it? Oh, it's so close. How unlucky can you get? How unlucky can you get? The goats get through. Recon goes, "Oh!" And Kavoth somehow, some way, as Ra, who has terrible early game scouting, gets away with 13 goats to 5. Are you kidding me? Absolutely ridiculous. Nonetheless, relic in the hands for Recon. Kavoth here. He's grabbed a relic himself. It is the Pelt of Argus. Going to give him some extra line of sight, which is a big assistance. Look at how much line of sight these guys get. Spotting that Herso over there. Got to be careful. More Herso coming forward. He can start smacking down giraffes and things like that as the Axeman army is going to be coming in. Over here we see another longhouse getting dropped down on top of the town center just to make sure that that's nice and safe. Inside the main base, Recon does see these Axemen. He does see the units that are coming in here. Sniping down the Hearser onto this side. Or not the Hearser, the Elephant onto this side. Getting that as into the main base. A very, very early Eclipse gets dropped down. 1 villager, 2 villagers go down. Can the Cryo-Sphinx get taken out here? These villagers over here are also out in the middle of nowhere as he is going straight after another villager going down there as it drops into the tower. Absolutely brutal Eclipse, but I mean, is this a good thing for Recon? I mean, it's not terrible. He loses 3 villagers. That's not good. But now he doesn't have to deal with Eclipse for a fight. Good and bad. We'll see how it goes. Axeman coming in. The gold mine also out in the open here. Watchtowers is a little bit pricey. You can grab it though. As the Sphinx coming in onto the left side. Sphinx coming in onto the right side as well. Also getting split up nicely as the Axemen are just sitting, waiting, watching, looking for a bit of a surprise attack here. Now moving forward, the Troll is on the back. The Ursa are all coming back to try and defend over here as a Draugr coming through as well. Can he snipe this one down? 5.3 speed, getting the slaps in. No real animation cancelling, but it's looking like it might fall. Nope, not going to finish that one off the sides to bail out as the priests are going to heal them back up to full HP. Damage is done, but Eclipse is down. Village is in the center of the map here as well. And now the third upgrade, or second upgrade, I should say, is in for the Sphinx. And they're going to be causing some big problems moving forward. The Hearser can heal back up. It's about an equal military value at the moment for Recon's army versus Kavoth's army. But how long is this going to last for is the question. Generally speaking, these games start to get very, very wild here. Very difficult for the Norse moving forward. Once you get to like the 8-minute, 9-minute mark, things are kind of close, and then things don't become very close afterwards. I mean, population-wise, Kavoth's got the advantage. But military resource value, it's equal. Trying to snipe down one cheeky Sphinx as Recon tries, or Kavoth tries to take down the temple. Recon, good defense thus far. Still got himself 900 gold as the Hearser sneaking around. He sees the villagers with the spy. The army sitting up here. Not noticing it. The Hearser coming through. A little bit of revenge fire to come in. Picks off one villager here. Absolutely huge. Recon gets onto the second villager. He's got to be careful not to overstay here, but 2 villager kills is going to be beautiful. Pulling back to pick off another villager over here. Great control from Recon. He gets the revenge fire in without needing to blow any sort of god power. It's now back to equal. However, Recon is stuck in his base for the time being. But he's got these Hearser to run around and just raid. That's the big part. That's the big thing here in this game. Oh, he turns around. You can't be taking this fight. He loses Ursa. Not ideal. That was a perfect trade there. Raiding cavalry up to the top side here. Going to be looking to attack the main base. Potentially hitting a gold mine here. Couldn't be a bad thing either as the gold is about to expire. Into the main base, however, a couple of Sphinx returning in here. The Hearser are through, however. They kind of a little bit running around the place here as the Axemen get on top of the Hearser. They don't quite manage to kill any, but get some good damage as that's going to put those out of commission for a little bit as they're going to have to sit on the healing spring. Gold mine for Recon at 400-ish gold here. He's going to be wanting to go to the next age, but he doesn't have the hunt. What can he do here? He doesn't have the herdables. He can't get to the next age. Charging through the gold mine here is gone. But he spots some villagers on the wood. We are seeing Kvoth retreating away. They're going to snipe down the obelisk at the very least. Now says, no. You got to go all the way back to the tower. As Watchtowers does come through. No crenellations just yet. Villagers turning around to shank. This is a big amount of loss here for a couple of villager kills. Can he get out of here with the life intact? Answer, mostly... He stays around, almost snipes another villager, gets another one, but that's a huge amount of losses there for both players. Who comes out on top there? Time will tell. As where to next for Recon? He's got a hefty amount of trolls. He's moving forward. The army over here, he's got to be seeing that. He's got to be seeing that. He does. He pulls back ever so slightly. He could jump onto wood and just pump out the remaining trolls here and get the troll upgrade. Got to be so careful. Raiding cavalry getting chased away for the time being. Villagers now going to be happily sitting on top of the giraffe. As the army to turn around to take this fight. The trolls getting some big damage done. A Valkyrie spawn on the front. Their slingers are over onto the back here as well. These sorts of fights are very tough for the Norse player to actually find any sorts of wins here. Up to the top here, the Sphinx is on top of the villagers over here as well. The priest to take down the Draugr. A couple of trolls remaining, but the front line does dissipate here. As the final two trolls going down, and I think Recon is done. And Kavoth wins in 4 games with some incredibly dominating gameplay here. Absolutely disgusting Ra play in this one. He's in the main base as well, mind you. I completely missed that. He's just all over this position. Recon just could not quite get that fight that he wanted. I think taking this raid in the main base and losing that amount of raiding cavalry, which he needs for this fight, and then having to take the fight before he gets the advantage converted with the villager kills versus, how do I explain this? You know, the villager kills. If you lose, if you trade 1 raiding cavalry for 1 villager, it's going to take about 90 seconds for you to actually feel that advantage in real terms in terms of resources that you have. But he went in, he killed 4 villagers, great, but he lost 5 or 6 cavalry, so he's got to wait 2 minutes at the very least to find that, to feel that advantage. I think if he sat on top of the villagers and maybe used those for the fight, maybe that could have been a better angle to approach it. Maybe also grabbing survival equipment, but nonetheless, well played by Kvoth. If you guys enjoyed the series, enjoying the Sunday Classic, make sure you hit the follow button, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We'll find some extra players for the next one next week, but as the show goes on, unfortunately, a 4-0, and that's the story so far. Hope you guys enjoyed. Anyways, GG's.